This is bad. Stephen A. Smith, Charles Barkley, and Shaq shared devastating news. Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves. Some of the most respected voices in the sports world, Stephen A. Smith, Charles Barkley, and Shaquille O'Neal, have come together in a way we've rarely seen, and the news they've shared is nothing short of shocking. When these three basketball legends speak, the entire world listens, and this time their words carry a weight that has left fans and players in disbelief. Stay tuned, because this is about to change the game as we know it. Stephen A. Smith, Charles Barkley, and Shaquille O'Neal are three iconic figures in the basketball world, known not just for their incredible contributions on the court, but also for their outspokenness and deep insight into the game. These three rarely come together for such a serious announcement, but when they do, you know something major is happening. What they've revealed isn't just a minor update or a passing headline, it's a bombshell that could shake the very foundations of basketball. Fans, analysts, and players alike are all trying to wrap their heads around the gravity of this news. So what exactly did they say? And why is everyone so devastated? Let's dive into the shocking revelation and break down the key points that have the sports world in turmoil. The announcement: a devastating blow to basketball. Stephen A. Smith, Charles Barkley, and Shaquille O'Neal, three of the biggest names in basketball commentary, recently came together on national television to deliver some devastating news. According to these legends, the current state of basketball is facing a crisis that no one saw coming. They explained how recent developments within the league and the sport as a whole are not only worrying but could potentially alter the future of basketball as we know it. What makes this announcement even more impactful is that it came from these three titans of the sport. Their collective experience and insight into the inner workings of basketball give their words a level of credibility that's hard to ignore. What's the crisis? While the specifics of the crisis weren't initially laid out, it's clear that Smith, Barkley, and Shaq are deeply concerned about the direction the game is heading. One of the major concerns they highlighted is the increasing commercialization of the sport and how it's impacting the integrity of the game. Stephen A. Smith spoke about how the influx of sponsorship deals and big money contracts is starting to take precedence over the game itself. He pointed out how the focus is shifting away from developing young talent and fostering a competitive spirit, and instead more attention is being given to brand endorsements and flashy marketing campaigns. According to him, this is leading to a decline in the quality of play and could eventually turn basketball into more of a business venture than a sport. Charles Barkley's perspective: the loss of authenticity. Charles Barkley, always known for his blunt and often controversial takes, didn't hold back when discussing his concerns. Barkley lamented the loss of authenticity in the game, noting how players today are more interested in building their social media following than working on their craft. He explained how in his day, players were all about competing at the highest level and winning championships, but now it seems like the focus is shifting to building personal brands. Barkley went on to explain how this shift in priorities is having a ripple effect throughout the entire league. Teams are no longer building rosters based purely on talent and chemistry, but are instead looking at which players will bring the most attention and revenue to the franchise. This, according to Barkley, is a dangerous trend that could lead to the downfall of the sport. The impact on young players. Shaquille O'Neal, always the voice of reason, brought up an important point about how these changes are affecting the younger generation of players. Shaq expressed concern that young athletes are no longer being taught the fundamentals of the game. Instead, they're being fast-tracked into professional leagues before they've had a chance to fully develop their skills. He highlighted how this is especially problematic in the NBA, where players are being drafted based on potential rather than actual ability. While this might work for a select few, Shaq explained how it's leaving a lot of young players unprepared for the rigors of professional basketball. Without the proper foundation, many of these players are struggling to adapt to the demands of the NBA, and as a result, their careers are stalling before they've even had a chance to take off. As soon as the news broke, reactions started pouring in from all corners of the basketball world. Fans were quick to express their shock and disappointment, with many echoing the sentiments of Smith, Barkley, and Shaq. Social media was flooded with messages from fans who were heartbroken by the state of the game and concerned about what the future holds. Players, too, were not immune to the news. Several current and former NBA stars took to Twitter and Instagram to share their thoughts on the matter. While some players defended the commercialization of the game, others agreed with Smith, Barkley, and Shaq, calling for a return to the fundamentals of basketball and a renewed focus on competition. The question on everyone's mind now is, what does this mean for the future of basketball? If things continue down this path, Smith, Barkley, and Shaq believe that we could be witnessing the slow decline of the sport. However, it's not all doom and gloom. There's still hope that the game can be saved, but it's going to require a serious effort from players, coaches, and league officials. Stephen A. Smith was quick to point out that while the situation is dire, it's not too late to turn things around. He called for a renewed focus on player development and the importance of building teams that are based on talent, not marketability. Barkley and Shaq echoed this sentiment, urging young players to stay focused on the game and not get distracted by the glitz and glamour that comes with being an NBA star. In the final moments of their broadcast, Smith, Barkley, and Shaq made an impassioned plea to everyone involved in basketball, from the players to the fans, to help save the game. They stressed the importance of keeping the integrity of the sport intact and ensuring that future generations of players have the opportunity to compete at the highest level. Their message was clear. Basketball is at a crossroads, and it's up to all of us to ensure that the game we love doesn't lose its way. The devastating news shared by Stephen A. Smith, Charles Barkley, and Shaquille O'Neal has sent shockwaves through the basketball community. Their concerns about the commercialization of the sport, the loss of authenticity, and the impact on young players are issues that can no longer be ignored. But as they pointed out, it's not too late to save the game. With the right focus and commitment, basketball can return to its roots and continue to thrive for generations to come. Let's hope the basketball world takes their words seriously, because the future of the game depends on it. What do you think about the current state of basketball? Do you agree with Stephen A. Smith, Charles Barkley, and Shaq? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more sports updates. Until next time, keep watching, keep cheering, and let's save the game we love.